This conference will now be recorded.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what is QSAR? What is QSAR? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
What QSAR? Quantitative structure activity relationship.
yes, sir.
Right? In the last class, we discussed about various physicochemical parameters used to understand the QSAR. Okay. In the last class, we discussed about various physicochemical properties or parameters used to understand the QSAR. I will briefly tell you again. To design a drug, there is one or two concepts. One is known protein structure. If you have, then you can do molecular docking. Known molecular property, like if you have receptor structure known or protein structure known. If you have any information about this, right, you can do drug design by docking. Right, docking is nothing but a Godrej lock and key system. Right, suppose if you have Godrej lock particular number, to open that Godrej particular lock, you have to insert particular key. Then only you are able to open the Godrej lock. Right. Similarly, the same concept we are applying in case of docking, because protein or receptor have some active sites. Right. Even it has some dummy sites also. But once you identify the protein, then from the protein you have to identify the active site. Once, if you are capable of identifying active site, your job is next is to put your molecule in the active site. So it will give certain score. That certain score you have to measure. Whichever is having the less score, that will be the best model or best fitting of that compound into the particular active site of the protein or receptor. Right? Are you following? Okay. So it is like a drug design by docking is nothing but a Godrej lock and key system. Right? Suppose another concept is, if you don't know structure of protein, right? If you don't know the structure of protein, or if you don't know the structure of the receptor, then you are adopting other side, that is QSAR. So QSAR is applicable to the unknown receptor, to the already tested series of compounds, and these tested series of compounds have homologous series. Then you can adopt QSAR. Right? So what are the properties of the QSAR? Can you list please? What are the various physical chemical properties discussed in the earlier class? I sent you PPT, right? Can you name some? various physical chemical properties used in QSAR. One is lipophilicity, another is steric parameter, another is electronic parameter. Okay, so we'll continue next now. Just I briefly freshed up your QSAR chapter. So after this all brief discussion about the various properties, now we are coming to the important discussion, that is Hand's equation. So he is one of the pioneer scientists. He discovered most of the QSAR and he has given a lot of inputs for the science faculty. So in this Hand's equation, a QSAR equation relating various physical chemical properties to the biological activity of a series of compounds. You have to relate. What you are going to relate? These physical chemical properties with respect to activity. Right? For example, if there is an increase in lipid solubility, there may be increase in activity. That's how you have to correlate properties, physical chemical properties with respect to biological activity. If there is decrease in biological activity, it means that one of the physical chemical property is not good for identifying the QSAR. And various chemical properties include log P, electronic and steric factors. And to understand this Hand's equation, we start with simple equations and elaborate as more structures are synthesized. Because in the homologous series, as the structures are more, then you will get a good QSAR pattern. Right? If the data set is less, means number of compounds what you are selecting in the homologous series should be more. If it is more than 30 or 40 or 100, near to 100, you will get a very good QSAR result. And it will be typical equation for a wide range of log P is parabolic. You know what is parabolic, hyperbolic, right? So to fit into this equation, Hand's equation, log 1 by C is equal to minus K1 into bracket log of P square whole square plus K2 log P plus K3 sigma plus K4 electronic substitution constant plus K5. This is a Hand's equation, right? This is a Hand's equation. So log 1 by C in this equation is nothing but a biological activity. Don't get confused, okay? Log 1 by C is equal to biological activity. Here the K1, K2, K3, K4 and K5, they are all constants. And log P square, it is one of the partition coefficient. Another log P, second set of molecule. Sigma is electronic constant and electronic constant, and ES is steric factor. Right? So this is equation discovered by Hand's. To understand that, we'll take one example. Adrenergic blocking activity of beta-halo beta-aryl amines. Adrenergic blocking activity of beta-halo beta-aryl amines. You know what is alpha beta in the nomenclature? Students, do you know what is alpha and beta in the nomenclature? Beta-halo. So there is nitrogen here in this structure. Next to nitrogen is carbon, that is alpha carbon. Its next carbon is beta carbon, right? So wherever there is a functional group, when you select that functional group, next to that functional group is a alpha carbon. Its next is beta. Its next is gamma. Like that, it will be named. Or you can say number also 1, 2, like that. See in this case, for example, log 1 by C is equal to 1.225 minus 1.59 sigma plus 7.89. So how we got this equation? It is all software will help you. So you should have a QSR software. Okay, you should have QSR software. Then only you can get all these. So what you are going to conclude from this equation by using the Hans equation? So if there is a pi value is positive, that is a hydrophobic substituents, there will be increase in the activity. If sigma is negative, that is electron dominant substituents, activity increases. That's what information it will give. Next, to take one more example, antimalarial activity of phenanthrene aminocarbenols. So when the lockdown opens, when you come to college, that time we have some softwares. So I will show you how the log is calculated by drawing the structure in our software. Okay, so don't get confused. So for this antimalarial activity of phenanthrene aminocarbenols, that is equation 1 so log 1 by C, that is equal to minus 0.015 log P whole square plus 0.14 log P plus 27 mu pi x, that is substitution of x, that is on the aromatic ring, plus 0.40 mu pi y, that is substitution on the another ring, plus 0.65 mu sigma x, that is substitution on aliphatic chain, plus 0.88 mu sigma y plus 2.34. Here 2.34 is a constant. From this, what we can understand? So there is a increase in slightly activity as there is slightly increase in the log P, and the log constant is 0.14. Note that the constant is only 0.14. So parabolic equation implies on optimum log P naught value for activity. In the previous slides or previous class, we discussed about what is parabolic equation, how it is applied with respect to log P. That is, optimum log P values showed when you increase the partition coefficient. After that, threshold after this log P value, then there will be decrease in activity. So another conclusion is activity increases for hydrophobic substituents, especially when there is substitution on the ring Y. Looking at the structure, that is phenanthrene structure, you observe there is a ring X we labeled, there is ring Y, right? So on the ring Y, if you substitute with any hydrophobic substituent, there will be increase in the activity. Instead of hydrophobic, if you put hydrophilic activity substituent, then there is decrease in the activity. And activity increases for electron withdrawing substituents. Activity increases for electronic withdrawing substituents on the ring Y. You would know what is electron withdrawing substituents like nitro, nitrile, C triple bond N, and CHO, like that. Okay. So there will be some tips for understanding or how to choose suitable substituents by the following criteria. Substituents must be chosen to satisfy the following criteria. A range of values for each physicochemical property is studied. So whatever physical property you studying should have valid or wide range, and these values must not be correlated for different properties. They must be orthogonal in values. At least 5 structures are required for each parameter studied. Okay. See, for example, see here, substituent hydrogen, of course it is 0. If this hydrogen, if you replace by methyl, then this pi value is 0.56. Substituent, when there is ethyl, the pi value is 1.02. That's how you have to correlate the values, because it should be exponential. See, hydrogen, methyl, ethyl, N-propyl, N-butyl, or isopropanol, like that. See, it is just a homologous series. Are you following point? Hello, students, please, are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Substituent is hydrogen here, because hydrogen pi is 0, 0. Okay. This pi, hydrogen replaced by methyl group, there is pi value is 0.56. Okay. At methyl group, if you replace this methyl by ethyl, there will be increase in the pi value from 0.56 to 1.02. It is just a homologous series. Hydrogen to methyl, methyl to ethyl, ethyl to N-propyl, N-propyl to N-butyl. Right? And molar reflectivity for hydrogen 0.10, for methyl it is 0.56, for ethyl. All these I'll show you once you come to college. In the ChemDraw software we have. Okay. Literally you draw the structure and check for all these values. MR is molar reflectivity. 0.56 for methyl, for ethyl 1.03, N-propyl is 1.55, N-butyl is 1.60, 1.96. And these are all correlated values. These are all correlated values. Are any differences due to pi or MR? Yes, there is difference. Now coming to next set of example for Hans equation. Substituents affords the for pi it is 0.00, for methyl it is 0.56. Now we'll come to different. It is O-methoxy. See here, O-methoxy, that is minus 0.02, and NHCOCN, NHCONS2 amide, amino amide compound minus 1.30. Then halogen I 1.12, nitrile, or you can say in other terms C triple bond N minus 0.57. Right? Because OCS3, NHCO, NH2, they're all electron withdrawing. Where in this case, methyl, ethyl, N-propyl, N-butyl, they're all electron donating. Where in this case, hydrogen is neutral, methyl is electron donating. Where OCS3 is electron withdrawing. Right? NHCO, NH2 is electron withdrawing. Iodine is 1.12. Nitrile is minus 0.57. Similarly, you observe for molar reflectivity 0.10, 0.56, 0.79. As you going on changing the functional group or substituent, there will change in the pi values as well as molar reflectivity values. And what is the conclusion here? Here you cannot do correlation, because one is neutral hydrogen, another is methyl, that is electron donating. OCS3, NHCO, NH2 is electron withdrawing. Therefore, you cannot correlate the values. Therefore, no correlation in values valid for analyzing effects of sigma and molar reflectivity. Now next important after this Han's equation, one more important is Craig plot. Any of you have heard the what is Craig plot? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Sir.
What is Craig plot? Any idea? This Craig plot is one of the scientists, and he shows the values for two different physical chemical properties for various substituents. See, for example, see this. What are you observing? They are like a stars in the. They are like a stars. See, there will be various values, various substituents. In this graph, in this plot, you can see this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. For better understanding, we have for x-axis we denoted left side minus pi and right side plus pi, where in case of y-axis the upper part is plus sigma and lower part of y is minus sigma, right? So just to observe here, wherever methyl, ethyl, n-butyl values are there, they are all lying on the plus sigma of the plus pi of the plot, right? These are values also. Methyl is, for example, 0.43, and for ethyl it is 0.87, like that. Where in case of nitro sulfonyl trifluoromethyl, pentafluorosulfide, trifluorocarbon, trifluoromethoxy, iodine, bromide, or chloride, they are coming in the plus sigma and plus pi value. Okay, and this will give you brief information about their values for selecting and to understand the QSAR. See here. So what we can do, we'll start from here. This is plus sigma and minus pi, whatever values are here. And next is plus sigma plus pi. This all these compounds. Next come down right side. Whatever values coming here, they may be having minus sigma plus pi values. And this is the last one, upper left side down, minus sigma and minus pi. That is NH2, OH, methoxy, and you can say methylamide, CH3CONH. Okay, this is how we have to classify as per the Craig plot. From the Craig plot, what you can understand, allows an easy identification of suitable substituents for a QSAR analysis, which includes both relevant properties. Right? Craig plot allows an easy identification of suitable substituents for a QSAR analysis, which includes both relevant properties. And you choose a substituent from each quadrant to ensure orthogonality. Right? You cannot choose from only one side. You have to choose a substituent from each quadrant to ensure orthogonality. And next, the third point understanding in this case is choose substituents with a range of values for each property. You cannot choose from only one side. You have to choose substituents with a range of values for understanding the substituents. Another important is QSAR top list scheme. Top list scheme, it is used to decide which substituents to use if optimize the compounds one by one, where the synthesis is complex and slow. And for this, we are taking example on aromatic substituents. See, for example, hydrogen on the aromatic ring. See, for example, hydrogen on the aromatic ring, and on this aromatic ring, one of the hydrogen, it is replaced by chlorine at fourth position. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
By looking at this schematic diagram, hydrogen, that hydrogen is replaced by chlorine at fourth position. Okay, and when you substitute chlorine at fourth position, you are coming with three answers. One is more activity. M means more activity. E means equal activity. There are no change. Means whatever hydrogen is there, what was the activity was there, same activity, or least activity. It is less than when there is hydrogen. After substitution of chlorine, it has become less active. So when it is more active, then you can go for the right side scheme, M. In that case, what you have to do, 4 substitution by chlorine replaced by 2 chlorine atoms at third and fourth position. Okay. Hello. If there is chlorine at fourth position, compound is more active than hydrogen substitution, then you can go for substitution by 2 chlorine atoms where they are on the meta and para position, that is third and fourth position. So what will get compound? Compound will be dichloride on the aromatic ring. When there is disubstitution on the aromatic ring, then you are coming with again 3 results. One is less active, equally active, or more active. If it is more active, then what you have to? You have to go for optimize the compound by substitution 3-fluochloro by 3-trifluoromethyl 4-chloro and 3-trifluoromethyl by 4-nitro. Then you have to you are optimizing the compounds. It replace when there is 3-fluorochlorine, compound is more active. Then what you have to do? You choose replace this 3-fluoro-dichloro by 3-trifluoromethyl 4-chloro compound. Another one is 3-trifluoromethyl 4-nitro. Then we analyze the compound. Definitely you will get a more active or more optimized compound. In case of less active and equal active, you can go for 3-fluoro-dichloro replace with 4-trifluoromethyl or 2,4-dichloro or 4-nitro. Then you have to test. Okay. Coming next is come to the next part, that is L. When Hello. Are you following? Hello. Hello, students.
Yes, sir.
Following, no?
Yes, sir.
4-methoxy replaced by 4-dimethyl amino. When the 4-methoxy is more active than 4-chlorine, right? So in that case, what happens? Again, you are coming with 3 results. One is less active, equally active, or equipotent, or more active. Now, with this dimethyl amino at 4th position, if it is more active, then you have to go for 3-methyl 4-dimethyl amine. That's how you have to optimize the compound. That's how you are optimizing the compounds, right? Suppose if it is equal active, less active, then you have to go for optimizing from 4-dimethyl amino to 4-amino. That is the end. Now, with this 4-methoxy, if it is equal active with respect to 4-chlorine, or less active compared to 4-chloro, then you go for replace this 4-methoxy by chlorine at 3rd position. Replace this methoxy at 4th position by chlorine at 3rd position instead of 4. Then come to, it may become equipotent. In that case, you have come to next point, that is equipotent. In that case, this 4-chlorine atom is replaced by 4-methyl. Then you are coming to conclusion with 3 answers. One is less active, equally active, or more potent. When you substitute chlorine at 4th position by methyl at 4th position, if it become more active, then you go for replace this 4-methyl group with 4-tertiary butyl. You replace this 4-methyl group with tertiary butyl. Then you will get you are optimizing the compound maximum. Followed? Hello?
Yes, sir.
समझ रहे हैं ना आप लोग?
What?
Are you following?
Yes, sir.
4-chlorine you're replacing with 4-methyl. If compound is more active than chlorine, then you have to replace this 4-methyl group with 4-tertiary butyl. Okay. Optimizing of the. Suppose if the compound is equipotent, or less active, then in that case what you have to do? Replace 4-methyl with respect to chlorine at 3rd position. Then again you are coming with 3 answers. One is less active, equally active, or more active. So this equally active or position of chlorine at 3rd position, if it is more active, then you have to replace chlorine at 3rd position by trifluoromethyl, right? Replace this chlorine at 3rd position by trifluoromethyl at 3rd position. Even you can go for dichloro, that is 3,5 disubstitution, that is meta 3 and 5 dichloro, or you can go for one more compound, that is metanitro or 3-nitro. So all these 3 compounds are optimized when the methyl group is more active compared to ethyl, right? When there is 3-chlorine atom is more active when substitution on the methyl group, that case you are optimizing with these 3 substituents, that is trifluoromethyl at 3rd position, dichloro, that is 3,5 dichloro, and 3-nitro. Coming next, when this 3rd chloro is equally or less active when compared to 4-methyl group on benzene ring, then you have to replace with third position by dimethylamine, or third position with methyl. These two you replace with 2 chloro, that is orthochloro, or 4 nitro and 4 fluoro. So this is the information which is very much useful for optimizing the compounds once you come with any activity, right? It's very much useful for understanding the SAR as well as QSAR. Understood, students? Please follow it. Try to understand. If any doubts, come to me by mail or by in the next class. So now that's how we are explaining here. See this. From this, I think you can understand. In the previous graph, you are replacing hydrogen with para substitution by chlorine atom. In the previous slide, replacing hydrogen with chlorine atom at para position, or you can say in 4th position. So there is a arrow mark increasing, that is increasing activity. Then you go for plus pi substituents or plus sigma substituents. That is giving you advantageous results. Then from these advantages, you can add second chlorine to increase the pi value as well as sigma value further, right? When you replace this hydrogen with chlorine at 4th position, if there is little change, then you can go for favorable pi values, unfavorable sigma values.
Thank you.
So it gives information about replace with methyl, that is by plus pi and minus sigma values. And there is a third option, increase in activity. When you replace this hydrogen with chlorine at 4th position, there is plus pi requirement and or plus sigma, and it is disadvantageous. In that case, you replace with O methoxy, that is minus pi and minus sigma values. And further changes suggested based on arguments of pi, sigma, and steric strains. Now coming next, aliphatic substituents in the Topliss scheme. In this aliphatic substituents, there is methyl, and that methyl group, if you are replacing with isopropyl, then you are coming with 3 important decisions. One is less active, another is equally active or equipotent or more active. When methyl group is replaced by isopropyl, if it is more active, M you can say, then that isopropyl you replace with cyclopentyl. Then you replace the isopropyl with cyclopentyl. In that case, you are coming with 3 results: less active again, equally active, and more active. In case of more active, then the cyclopentyl replaced with cyclohexyl or benzyl group, we can say phenylmethyl or phenylethyl, right? If it is less active and less active, equally active, when you replace isopropyl with cyclopentyl, then you can go for cyclobutyl, cyclopropyl with tertiary butyl at last. If it is equally active, when methyl and isopropyl, then you go for replace this isopropyl with ethyl. So you are coming with less active, equally active, or more active. If isopropyl replacement by ethyl, if it is more active, then you can go for that. So that is the end. No, you cannot expand further. You cannot shortlist the compounds. If it is isopropyl replacement by ethyl, if it is less active and equally active, then you can go for, in case of ethyl, you go for dichloromethyl, trifluoromethyl, trifluoroethyl, or just methyl mercaptoethyl, methyl mercaptan, methyl, and phenyl as well as benzyl. If it is less active, then you go for, instead of isopropyl, you go for hydrogen as it is, or else methoxymethyl or methoxy sulfonate methyl, right? So this is what we get some information in case of see, for example, see here, in case of this substitution R on the aromatic ring with respect to sulfonamide, that is a benzene sulfonamide. So order of synthesis in the table, there is first order, that is when there is R is equal to hydrogen. Biological activity is 0, no activity, right? Similarly, in the second compound, this hydrogen, if you replace by chlorine, biological activity is more activity, right? See here in the down we have given the what is the M for more activity, L for less activity, E for equal activity or equipotent, less potent or more potent, right? So second compound, if you replace hydrogen by chlorine at fourth position, there will be more activity. Third compound, if there is 3,4-dichloro, it is activity become less. And fourth compound, that is instead of chlorine, if there is bromine, then it become equipotent. Instead of in the fifth order of synthesis, if there is 4-nitro, then activity is more. Then you can get the more potent. That's how we have to choose the example for understanding the. Yes, sir. Another is a Topley scheme example. In this case, this is a tetrazole compound, and tetrazole attached to, you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phenyl, 1, 2, 3, 4 tetrazole, 2 carboxy, 2 propionate acid, right? Numbering from here 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? So you are making substitution on the aromatic ring. See there, when there is hydrogen, no activity, means it is neutral molecule. So next is this higher, where there is 4-chloro, activity is less activity. And third compound, to make a methoxy, even it is less active. And third position, there is 3-chloro position. In the fourth compound, substituted chlorine at third position, compound will become more activity and therefore it become more potent. And fifth compound, if you substitute by trifluoromethyl at third position, less activity. And sixth compound, bromine at third position, more activity, therefore compound it will become under class high potent. And seventh compound, triiodo, less activity. And eighth one is dichloro, 3,5-dichloro, more biological activity, therefore there will be high potency, right? So this is about Topley scheme with respect to examples. So just I'll repeat again. You have to understand, you have to read, then only you can understand, or else not able to understand anything. Please start reading. So I'll give another 5 minutes for you. Just ask me any questions if you are having. Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Are you
Yes,
reading?
sir.
Are you reading or not? If you are reading, then only you have some doubts or you have some questions. Simply attending online classes and again not reading means you're not able to understand anything, because every time, every class, you should read and understand the subject. So questions from this today's class: explain what is Han's equation. Explain with example. Okay.
Sir.
Another one is what is Lenny-Mark's question. What are the various physical-chemical parameters used in QSAR? Explain solubility or explain with examples of partition coefficient. Explain partition coefficient with examples. Another question is what is Craig plot? What is Craig plot? Explain with examples. What is Han's equation? Explain with some examples. What is Topliss scheme? How do you optimize the compounds by using the Topliss scheme? Topliss scheme is only useful when there is chlorine atom at fourth position in case of iron bickering, or in aliphatic chain methyl group replaced by isopropyl group, not for all the compounds, right? So these are some basics information I'm giving you. In the next class we'll continue another class for this QSAR. There are some more equations will come. Okay, any questions? Hello, do you have any doubts, please?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll end for today's class. In the next class
sir.
we'll continue. Okay, take care. Bye.
Okay, sir. Take care, sir. Bye, sir. Bye.